aka the Transition Man, is a speaker, author, and expert at helping people develop the mental readiness to embrace change. He has shared the stage with many thought leaders and celebrities from around the country and has even appeared in several movies and on television, and most recently at a TEDx event in Florida. Johnny has served as the president of the National Speakers Associations for the state of Illinois and has also earned the designation Accredited Speaker. Nice. A designation awarded by Toastmasters International and held by less than 100 professional speakers in the world for excellence in public speaking. Johnny's programs are not only entertaining, but filled with practical and pragmatic methods that have helped thousands of people achieve more success, more money, and more happiness in their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome with his presentation, Embracing the Winds of Change, Adjust Your Sail, Mr. Rise Up and Win, the Transition Man, Johnny Campbell. Take it away, Johnny.
All right. Wow, here we are. We are here at last, and I just want to let everyone know it truly is a pleasure to be here and to have this conversation in the time that I've been given here. I want to give you guys a quick story about myself here so that you kind of get some context for me. For the last 20 years, I have been a professional speaker, delivering talks, delivering presentations. I have been a Toastmaster for almost 18 plus years. And I became a Toastmaster pretty much after leaving corporate America and pursuing my career as a professional speaker. Now, before I was a professional speaker, I spent a little over 10 years in a very sexy and exciting industry, everyone, called insurance. And that was my life. For over 10 years, I was a claims adjuster. I sold insurance. I was in that industry. And while in that industry, I experienced massive amounts of change, from multiple downsizings to mergers to acquisitions. And I was involved in all of that. So at the end of my career, the last 3 years of my career, I was in training. And I was in the training department. And that's where I had the opportunity to train individuals, help them understand technology, but most importantly, I learned about change management. And I didn't learn it from a book that I had read. I had to live it every single day. How do you really deal with people? How do you help them have personal breakthroughs and be productive and profitable while you're going through massive organizational change? And that was really the background and my experience. And then after that time there, my job got phased out, and it was like I had to make a decision. What was I going to do next? And so I made a decision that I was going to pursue a career as a professional speaker and share with people my insights and ideas that I learned about how do you help organizations and people navigate that uncertainty of change. So that became my actual career. And that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. Now, along that journey, as I like to tell everyone, I've had opportunities to do unique and unusual things at times. Like for one time, I actually was in a movie. And it was because I had done some speech training for some actors. And because I did that for them, they actually invited me into their world to do a casting call in Chicago. And so I ended up going to a casting call, and I ended up being an extra in a movie called The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. And there's a Wrigley baseball scene where Vince Vaughn sees Jennifer Aniston for the first time, and he passes a hot dog down the aisle. As that hot dog goes down that aisle, if you look real close, you can see my waist right in the middle. And that became my stardom. Now, for everyone out there, they're like, oh, wow, you're a star now. No, not really. But that was my opportunity. And that was my beginnings. And since then, I've just traveled, delivered talks, whether they're Toastmaster groups, corporations, organizations around the country. And that's really my story in a nutshell, just so that you kind of get some context for what I'm really going to talk about here. And the thing that I'm going to talk about here is that, as you already know, we are living in a world that has totally shifted. Massive change. Things are happening all around us. And it's hard to predict what is actually next. When I was initially invited to come speak for your district, I already knew what I was going to talk about in a way, and I already understood how I was going to convey it. But once these events occurred, I said, I need to add something to this talk that speaks to where we are right now. Not just where we're trying to go, but where we are right now. And one of the things about the life we're living right now is it's hard to predict the future right now. But here's the reality. The reality of it is that this is what we're living right now. We're dealing with these situations right now. And these situations can cause a lot of stress, cause a lot of anxiety, but this is where we're at right now. And because this is where we're at, this is the change that we're dealing with right now. We're trying to navigate this type of change, to deal with it, to understand how we can be better in the midst of it. And this type of change, and it's definitely the climate right now in the marketplace and how people are, this type of change is creating a high level of uncertainty right now. People just aren't sure what the future looks like. When are things going to open up? When are things going to start again? When are things going to ever go back to normal? Well, I'm not sure if things will ever go back to normal, but things will begin again one day. But this speculation on one day, someday, hopefully, creates a lot of uncertainty in our hearts. And because of that, that's why I came to realize that we have to overcome this uncertainty. If we're going to embrace these winds of change, we have to overcome the uncertainty that we are dealing with. And how do you do that? By living in the now. See, when we start to think about what could happen in the future, what could be next, we have a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. We must live right now. The things you do right now are what's going to make the difference in your future. If you sit around and you wait for the future to get here, you're going to miss the opportunities that are in front of you right now. Now, for some, they're going to have to deal with this illness, and that is, and I empathize with them and I feel for them. But there's a lot of us out here who may never experience that illness, but we have to go through this. We have to move through this, and we have to maximize what is in front of us, the opportunities that are in front of us right now. That means living now. If you wait, if you sit around and say, wait, we'll wait and see, and someday, and hopefully, you will feel uncertainty. You will feel stress. You will feel anxiety. But if you start doing things right now, that's where your empowerment comes from. That's where your mastery comes from doing the things you need to do right now. And so, in order to live in the now, it is important that you find your now. And that's why I came up with these three concepts right here. To live in the now, it is about how you see yourself, how you see the situation, and how you see yourself in that situation right now. How you see yourself is so important to how you navigate through these things. The situation, you've got to be looking at that situation in a certain way so that you can maximize the situation and be successful. And how you see yourself in that situation as someone that has confidence and clarity and certainty, or do you see yourself as someone with a level of uncertainty? When you live in the now, and I'm going to go deeper into that, into the now, that's where your power comes from. That's where your ability to get through these things comes from. It's what you're doing right now. And everything I'm going to talk about here is about what you do right now, because this now is going to create your future, but you've got to be doing things. So our mission is simple: how to embrace change and achieve more success in life. And when it comes to success, now after 20 years of speaking, there's a lot of people that talk about steps and they talk about different things you can do to be successful. But success is about a sequence of doing things, a sequence of thinking about things, a sequence of how you handle things. So it's all about this sequence of doing things here. And without a sequence or a systematic way of thinking and behaving, it's hard to have predictable success when embracing change. So you got to have a certain way to look at the situations that are in front of you. So where do we actually get started with this? Here's where we get started. The keys to adjusting your sail: how you think, how you feel, and how you act. And what I'm going to do is talk about how to think about things to get to where you want to be, and how your feelings affect your thoughts, and then how you act upon those things here. And the first one on there is this. Key point number one is embracing change. Adjust yourself how you think. To change your life, you must reframe how you see change happening in your life. Now, as a professional speaker, I have been speaking for 20 plus years. As a speaker, this has been my career after I left corporate America. This year, I lost a huge amount of speaking opportunities. I lost 20 gigs over the last, from February to June, I lost 20 plus gigs. They just went away and they're not coming back, just like that. And as a full-time speaker who earns his income, that can be very stressful, because what I thought was there isn't there anymore. I was looking forward to those things in the future. And every time I thought about those things being lost, I felt uncertainty about my future. I felt uncertainty about what was next. I felt a lot of fear. And I had to do what I tell everybody else to do. I had to reframe how I see this situation. And I said, what can I do right now to make a difference in my life, to improve my situation right now? I can't think about the future and what is lost. I got to think about what I can do right now to improve my situation. And that's what I've been doing every single day. I reframe how I saw this change. So I'm living what I teach. I had to reframe it so that I got myself into the right place. And getting yourself into the right place means how you think about change when change happens. Now, here's the thing. Most people, why people resist change? Most people totally resist change. When change happens, when uncertainties happen, they resist change. They want things to stay as they are. And I began to understand that when things happen like this, when change occurs, people just will flat out resist it. And I understand why they are resisting it. It's because they don't see. They don't see how it can improve them. They don't see the gains, and they don't really see how this event can help them. And they don't see these things. And that's okay that you don't see those things when you're dealing with change, because here's some reality about change. Change is an event, a situation, or a thing, but it's not a person. See, here's the reality here. A lot of people think that change is a person or a people, but it's not. Change is an event, a situation, or a thing that comes into our lives, and we must navigate through that. Remember what I said before, how you see yourself, how you see the situation, how you see yourself getting through the situation. You are not change. Change happens around us, and it is how we move through it that allows us to maximize the opportunities. When I looked at these events that have occurred in our world right now as an event, I said, that's an event. But I've got to think about how I see myself inside of that. I've got to look and say, okay, this is a situation I'm dealing with, and how do I move through it? Because I realize one thing simply, that people don't change. When you think about change, people don't change. People either get better or worse in life. Objects change, things change, situations change. People, when they go through something, they're either better or worse because of it. Either you're moving forward or you're moving back. And I knew for myself that as I went through this situation, just like you're going through it, it's important to become better because of it, to improve because of it, to use this as an opportunity to grow. See, here's the thing. People can create, manage, and respond to change. That's what people do. Remember I said change is an event, situation, or thing. People can create change, they can manage change, they can respond to it. That's what we do when it comes to change. People transition through the change. This right here is one of the most important things I want each and every person to think about here, is that you were built to transition through change. You were never designed to be change. You were designed to move through change. And I want everyone to think about this as you're listening here and listening to these words here. If you say the word change out loud, then I want you to say the word transition. Say the word change, then say the word transition. If you say the word change, then you say the word transition. Which one sounds better? For most people, it is transition, because that was what you were built to do in this life. You were designed to go to and through situations in life. Change is merely something that you go through. And as you go through it, you understand and you become something greater. Everything I'm talking about here, right out of my book on the principles of transition here, how to move through change here. So everything I'm sharing with you is right out of my books and my audio programs here. I want you to have this step by step. What we're going to talk about is mapping that journey out. A lot of times when it comes to the life that we're living right now, we have to think about what we can do right now. So when we map this journey out, we're not talking about 100 miles down the road. We're talking about the next day here, the day you're dealing with. We're talking about right now. Remember, I talked about living in the now. We're talking about mapping out how you can have more certainty and embrace the changes that are occurring around you. That's what this is about. I want to show you an illustration here. This is what embracing change looks like as a diagram. As you can see right here, where we start, and then we move through the change. And at the end of that change, we are transformed by that experience. That experience is either going to improve us or it's going to make us bitter. But we will be transformed by this experience. And what we're dealing with in this world right now, we are each going to be transformed by it. The question is, in what way? In what way will we be transformed by this experience? And that's what I want you to think about here. As you're going through this right now, as you're going through this change, how can I be better? How can I improve? How can I even take advantage of this situation that I am currently dealing with? These are the questions that you ask yourself. This is where improvement hides out. This is where opportunity hides out. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sail to reach my destination. In the life that we're living right now, it's important to have some direction, to know where you actually really want to go, but realizing that I'm going to have to adjust my sail every single day to get to where I really want to be. And here's how you start to gain that certainty in an uncertain world. It starts with a vision. Now, when people here in the speaking world, people say, well, you've got to have a vision. You got to have a vision for your life, for your organization, for your group. I believe you need a promised land vision. And a promised land vision is greater than just a vision. A promised land vision is, how is it going to be? How will I feel? What will I be thinking about? A promised land vision is a much more detailed description of the place that you want to end up eventually. See, today, you need to think about that. Where do I really want to be, and what can I do today to get myself toward that promised land vision? It's about writing down, what do I really want? What do I really want to have in my life? What do I really want to see occur in my life? A promised land vision is an emotional thing. It's about the big picture, but it's also the meaning behind everything. Because see, a vision can be very superficial, but a promised land vision. I want you to think about Dr. King for a moment and his I Have a Dream speech. In that speech, he gave great detail of what the promised land would look like, what it would feel like, and what would happen. Those questions are the same questions you should be asking yourself. What will my promised land look like? What will it feel like? What will it be like? Who will be with me there? And that's what you work on today. You don't wait for one day to reach the promised land. You work on it right now. You do the things you can every day toward it. The key is not to wait. The key is to be present right now. But you've got to know this magic question. What do you really want? As the world has shifted here, the question becomes, what do you really want? So for some people, they want a job. You know, they want to go back to work. They want to feel safe again. They want to have certain things in their life. But you have to ask yourself, what is it that I really want that I have control over right now? There's a lot of things that we would want. Of course, we want a cure for this. Of course, we don't want to see people die from it. But most of us are not in a position to solve those problems. We can support those who can solve those problems. We can try to offer any kind of help and aid to those that solve those problems. But we have to ask ourselves, what do we want right now? What do we want? And what do you want in your life right now? And that's what you work on. You say, you know what? I want to improve myself in this area so that when this passes and I'm back out, I can have this start to occur in my life. See, here's the thing. Right now, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually working on online courses and materials to improve myself so that when this passes, I'm a better speaker in the future. I'm a better business person in the future. I'm doing things every single day right now so that I can create a better tomorrow. But I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about right now. What I want right now is to be better at my skills. I want to be better at my business. I want to be better at doing the things that will improve my life. And I'm doing those right now because I have control over that. If I wait and say, well, when this passes, I'll study this, or when this passes, I'll go do that, I'm busy doing those things right now. Say, for example, you want to go on a trip one year and one day. Right now, you should be researching that trip right now, thinking about what you would do, how you would enjoy yourself. It's about the things you do right now, because now doing things right now and checking them off gives you a sense of accomplishment, a sense of certainty. That's why now is so important. But you also, as we go through things, got to know where you are. Where are you at right now? So we have our promised land vision of where we want to go. We got to know what we want, and then we got to know where we are right now. Where are you right now? And maybe it's exercise. Where are you at right now in your exercise routine? Maybe it's in your finances, in your financials. Where are you right now? Now is that time that you develop the plan. Now is that time that you get the training. Now is that time that you do the things that you need to do that you always said you would if you had the time. For most of us, we have been given indirectly a gift. It's a gift of time. The one thing that we all feel that we never have enough of. We've been given that. And what are you going to do with that time? Look at where you are right now and say, I have the time to do things to help myself move forward in my life. But I got to know where I want to end up. I got to know what I want, and I got to know where I'm at right now. This is that time for self-reflection. This is that time right now to get yourself thinking about, what do I really want my life to be like one day, but I'm going to work on it right now. Someday, one day, hopefully, is not a plan. What are you going to do right now? And that's what I want you to constantly think about as I say these things to you. Live in the now. What are you going to do now that you can control? That's where the power is. That's what allows you to transition through the change that we are experiencing. But you also have to know what's standing in your way. For most people, it's themselves that's standing in the way. They've got lots of fears, they've got doubts, they've got worries, they've got anxieties. But where does that all come from? It comes from here. It comes from your values. Our values and our beliefs affect how we see everything in the world. Anytime you think about yourself. Now, for example, I'm going to give you a question for those out there. It's not about responding to it, but it's just a question in general. If I were to ask you, who would like to be rich? Or who would want to be rich? Some people would raise their hands and other people would not raise their hands. Then I would say, who would like to just be comfortable? Who would like to be just comfortable? And then some people would raise their hands and other people would raise their hands. And when I got done asking those questions, I would say this to you. When I said who would like to be rich or richer or who would like to be comfortable, most people would say, Johnny, you're talking about money right now. The reality is I never said money. Your values said he's talking about money right now. Your values and beliefs shape your reality. I could have been talking about your spirituality, your family, your health, a host of things. It is your value system that affects you. And when we're in a place that we are today, our value system is kicking in saying, hey, things are dangerous. You better wait. You better watch. Our values are designed to protect us, but they also can paralyze us. So it's important when your values kick in and say, you should just wait and see what happens. That's not what we should be doing right now. What we should be doing right now is taking advantage of the opportunities right now. This is a chance for us, each and every one of us, to improve our health. This is a chance for each and every one of us to look at the things that we've not looked at in so long. Our values and beliefs protect us, but sometimes they can hold us back. So that's why it's important, if there's something you want to accomplish, something more you want to have in your life, you have to get online and get around people who share that value and that belief. And by being around them, your values and your beliefs will expand. You won't get rid of your values, but they will grow. See, values and beliefs can expand when they're around the right people. And they have to be around the right people based on what you want in your life. If there's something more that you want, then you get around people that are already doing that online, and that expands your value system because they help you see what you can't see. So that's why values are so important. I will neither yield to the song of the sirens, nor the hyenas, the tears of the crocodile, nor the howling of the wolves. In other words, as you adjust your sails, your emotions will definitely play a factor. It is never the circumstance causing your feelings, it's always your thinking about the circumstances. Remember what I said, how you see yourself, how you see the situation, how you see yourself getting through the situation. When it comes to your life right now, it is easy to get emotional. And everyone would agree that the media can get you highly emotional. So emotional that everyone felt that we needed to have toilet paper, all of the toilet paper. I'm just here to tell you, as a public service announcement, I don't know in any of the things that have gone on why toilet paper was critical to the balance of power, but it became critical, and it was a run on it. And I don't know where that came from. But what happens is one person gets emotional, then another person gets emotional, and then everyone else who's sane and relaxed becomes emotional too. And then it becomes a run on a particular product. And it's how people are allowing their feelings to dictate versus how they think about things. How you think controls your feelings, not your feelings controlling how you think. And you've seen it before in your own life. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever said something and wish you could take it back? If you've ever had that, that is when your feelings are ahead of your thoughts. So let's talk about how we deal with our feelings. There's a lot of negative words out there that people have when it comes to their feelings. But what I want to address are the three most important ones. The first one is doubt. When it comes to navigating the uncertainties of change and gaining more confidence, we have to overcome doubt. See, doubt is the first thing that people experience when they're going through something. They doubt it. So how do you really deal with doubt? I'm going to give you a tip on how to deal with doubt. Because doubt is something people have when they haven't done anything yet. What people need when they have doubt is clarity. They must be given clarity. Once they're given clarity on how to see the situation, doubt starts to go away and they start to take a few more steps. When people get past doubt, then worry occurs. They start to worry. And we worry, and the thing about worry is this. Worry is negative meditation. Have you ever thought about something bad and it happened? If you've ever had that happen before, the reason that it happened wasn't because the universe was against you. It was because you self-sabotaged yourself by doing things that you shouldn't or doing nothing at all. See, worry happens when we believe whatever it is around us is bigger than us. But when we have the education, the training, and the knowledge, we become bigger than our worries. In this life that we're living right now, there's a lot of things to worry about, but once we have the knowledge and the education and the training, or even just the spiritual support, that reduces worry. And I just want you to think about it for a moment. The only thing in life you've ever worried about was things you believed that were bigger than you. You've never worried about something you would believe that you were bigger than it. So if you feel worry, that's where education and training and support and getting around people that can help build your confidence up, like in Toastmasters, is so important. That's how you deal with worry. The next one here, how to overcome fear. Fear is the last thing that people have at the end. You have doubts, you have worries, then you have fear. Fear is the last part of the journey, because fear is when things are about to become different in your life. Things are about to shift. Things are about to happen in a new way. And you know that when fear comes, you have to let go of things you may already know. So how do we really overcome fear? We outgrow fear. You outgrow your fears by taking action. You outgrow your fears through experiences, through results, through support. We never really get rid of fear. We just outgrow that fear. With every action that we take, fear is reduced. With every experience we have, fear is reduced. With every result we have, fear is reduced. With support, fear is reduced. We outgrow our fears. As we're going through this change, and it's fearful, we have to take certain actions to protect ourselves, but we also have to grow within this thing through experiences and results and support. That's how we deal with the fear. As a speaker, I was once, and I've heard many speakers talk about it, they say you got to find your why. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, I found my why and I was not impressed with it. And I thought about my why. I wasn't impressed because my why didn't push me. My now did. Even before this event occurred, I realized that I needed to find my now for doing something right now. And I was always trying to give myself a reason to do it now. And now that this event have occurred, this is my now, this is your now, to do the things that you haven't done to improve your life right now. And like I said before, there are people that have lost their jobs. There are people who are ill. There are people who are frightful about where their next paycheck is coming from. There's a lot of that going on, and I acknowledge that. And I feel for that. But I had said to myself, if I only think about that, I'll never do anything but hide under the covers and wait for everything to clear. I've got to do something right now to take back that power. And as I did a little bit every day, I felt myself getting stronger. And I've been living that every single day. Now, I found my now, and now I'm doing things every single day, just like I'm encouraging you to. Key point number 3 here is action. Ships in the harbor are safe, but that's not what ships were built to do. And why they were definitely not built to do that. They were built to move and take action. Here was one of my quotes from the 2018 Toastmasters International. I was the keynote speaker at the International Convention in Chicago in 2018. And this was a quote that I said, change is inevitable, but making the transition through the change you're facing is a choice. It is a choice. When you go through a change you are experiencing, you have a choice to be better or to be worse from it. But it is up to you. And when change happens, people get difficult. As you can see right here, everybody. WTF, what the fun is going on right now? This is the look that everyone is walking around with right now, because we're all dealing with this together. What I talked about to you so far has been about you, who you are, and what you have to do for yourself. But now we have to deal with the people around us. We have to understand that people around us might not think about the now, what they can do right now. So let me offer you some things, fellow Toastmasters, that you can think about, that you can help people live in the now as a collective. The first thing is this: together is our strength. When people are going through a crisis, when people are going through things, they have to know that they're a part of something greater than themselves. When people know that they're a part of something greater than themselves, they feel confidence now. They feel a sense of assurance right now. When people feel that they're by themselves, there's a lot of doubt, worry, and fear that comes over people, and uncertainty. But if they feel that they're a part of a group, Toastmasters, having the online education, having the online meetings is so important because people feel a part of something greater than themselves, and that gives them confidence. So when you're helping people, let them know that they're a part of something greater than themselves. The next part, when you're dealing with people, people question their purpose in life. What's my purpose in life? What am I supposed to do with this life? Well, for those that are listening to this and those that will listen to it in the future, I want to be the first to give you the answer to the question: what is your purpose in life? Your purpose in life is to serve others with your gifts and your talents. I'll let you think about that for a moment. Your purpose in life is to serve others with your gifts and your talents. It amazes me how people wander the earth trying to figure out what my purpose is in life. Your purpose is to serve others. The question is, will you develop your gifts and talents big enough to serve the amount of people you want to serve? See, service is the easy part, to help others. The development of oneself, that's where the work is. The development of oneself, that's where the work is. I always show this right here because environment is so important. To serve, you must be in the right environment. To develop yourself, you must be in the right environment. It is hard to develop yourself in the desert by yourself. You need to be around in the most fertile environment for what you want to do and for those that you want to help. Then your gifts and talents become a blessing to others. But you have to make sure you're in the right environment. And then finally, here's goals. A lot of times people talk about setting goals, but to set a goal, you have to understand this. And this is what I'm just going to touch on here about a goal. A goal is not about an achievement. You set goals to solve problems to reach your vision. I'll repeat that. You set a goal only when you have a problem, not a desire. Think about it for a moment. Goals are designed to solve problems, not desires. When people say write down your goals, what they're really saying is write down your problems and then set a goal to solve that problem. Goals solve problems, not desires, not fulfill desires. The accomplishment of the goal is then the desire is achieved. But a goal is designed to solve a problem. So when you set your goal, you said, okay, my goal is to lose weight. My goal is to become a better speaker. Then you write down all the things you're going to do to accomplish that goal, which solves the problem that you had. Goals are designed to solve a problem, not a desire. The last part on here is about rewards here. And I wanted to make sure I had a chance to share with you something about rewards. As you go through the changes you're experiencing and dealing with, it's important to reward yourself because it gives you confidence. When you complete things, you should reward yourself. When you get things done, you should reward yourself. One of the things about Toastmasters, and you guys are doing the contest, I was in the contest many, many years ago, and I actually competed in the contest on several different occasions. And each time I competed, I made it to the district finals, and I lost in the finals. And I lost because of unusual circumstances, everybody. The first time I competed in the contest, I made it all the way to the district finals, and a guy threw his crutches on the ground and took a step and said he was healed, and he won the contest. I competed another year and went all the way to the finals, had that kind of speech that wins at international, and I knew I could win this whole thing. A woman got up there and sung a song and beat me. And I thought, this is a speech contest, not American Idol. But I lost. And I was very upset about that because I really felt in my life that if I had won the World Championship of Public Speaking, that would help my speaking career. And I had a gentleman that was there who talked to me about the World Championship and me being a professional speaker. And I want to show you a picture of that guy. That guy was Darren LaCroix. And he reminded me, he said, Johnny, you didn't join Toastmasters to win the World Championship. You joined to improve your presentation skills so you could be a paid speaker. See, Darren had just won the World Championship in 2001 when I was competing in the following year. And he reminded me, he said, you never joined wanting to win the contest to be a speaker. You joined so you could improve your skill set to get paid to speak. That's why you joined. And then you stayed for the last 20 years, I've stayed. But Darren had to remind me to adjust my sails because I started to drift off of course. And now later in life, I became an accredited speaker. But I always remember him reminding me of what it was about, what the real reward that I was looking for was. Sometimes we can drift off path at times. And sometimes it takes somebody to help us get back on the path again. That's why coaching, consulting has been something that I've done for people to keep them on the path. In times of change, learners inherit the earth while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. This right here is a wonderful quote and a warning to the world right now that the world is shifting and it's becoming something different. And we have to continue to learn new things to be relevant and to take advantage of the opportunities that are before us. It is the learned that find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. It is the learners that inherit the earth. You want to be a learner. If there's something you want to learn, now's the time. If there's something you want to become, learning it is now's the time. If you want to advance your career when things get back to open again, learning, now's the time. This is that moment. Pathways. If you want to, now's that time to learn pathways. Because pathways is going to be with us. And I always got to give that public service announcement. Pathways will get better with time. It will improve. It's kind of like an iPhone. Where it is today, it will be so much better tomorrow. It will be better as we learn it, as we work through it, as we kind of deal with it. It will get better. Well, there you have it, the secrets for embracing change. I always show this right here because what I tried to do in the time that we had was give you a choice. You can become a learner or the learned. It is your choice. The blue pill or the red pill. But life will go on. And it's so important for you to prepare yourselves. Here is a little bit of an eye test here. I always show this one in my live talks. Look at it here. And if you're wherever you're at, you could say it out loud if you want. But here's what I hear. Well, this is what normally people scream back when I say this out loud. I say, what do you see? And people say, opportunity nowhere, Johnny Campbell. And I'm like, look a little closer. Opportunity is now here if you're looking for it. In everything that I've shared this morning, it's about an opportunity for you to grow and to develop. See the world with new eyes every day. The crisis we face. This right here by Winston Churchill is a great quote about, to each comes their time in life, a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder, offered a chance to do a very special thing unique to them, fit for their talents. What a tragedy if the moment finds themselves unprepared, unqualified for which could have been their finest hour. In this crisis, ladies and gentlemen, your finest hour is upon you for you to do something special, to do something unique. This is the moment. This is your now. I am doing everything in my power right now so I can live this truth right here so that I am ready when I am tapped on the shoulder. I am developing myself right now because that is what it's about. I put some things together before I go that I want to reveal to everybody here. I've been talking from my book, The Agent of Change and the Power of Resiliency. But what I did was I created what I call the Rise Up and Win Success Nation Plan. It's 3 audio CDs here, 1 hour each. The Power of Resiliency, the 7 Habits Holding You Back, the 7 People You Need for an Extraordinary Life, Mindset, Webinar Training, PowerPoints, groups, and even my book. And I'm throwing this all together for those, and this is a district special for $97. But here's the best part. This is an online course. All of this material is online and ready to go. You make the investment in it. I don't care who you share it with, because the more people that learn from it, the more people that grow from it. So maybe you say, you know what, I'll get it for my club, or I'll get it for myself and give it to my family members. But you will have a lifetime access to this online course with all of this material, all the videos. You have lifetime access to it. And it's based on what you've heard this morning. The book and the CD is $20, but I'm encouraging everyone to look at the full packet at $97. And my final thoughts are simply this. When it comes to what we've talked about here, I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, Johnny Campbell, I didn't give up. And that's the biggest thing here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to give up in this time. I don't want you to wait. I want you to do something right now to be better on the other side of this. Remember, we are going through a massive change. We must transition through it, and it is how we transition through it that makes the difference on the other side. You will be transformed, either better or worse. I want you to be better. If you want the material, go to riseupandwin.com/change. You can call me and I'll take your order, or you can email me and I'll send you the link to place the order as well. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to this. And I want you to always remember this. The elevator to success is broken. But if you're willing to do the work and do something right now, the stairs to your dreams will always be available. Thank you.
Johnny, that was fantastic, sir. I appreciate all of that. That's fantastic.
Thank you for having me this morning.